What's up, Browns fans? It's Jonathan here, listening from New York, and you guys are listening to the Dawgs podcast. Let's kick this thing off. Hoo, hoo.
Welcome to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of The Dawgs, brought to you by Manscaped, the world leader in below-the-waist grooming tools. Thanks to John from New York for that intro. That was really awesome. We're still looking for more fan intros for the show, so if you're interested, head to thedawgspodcast.com and leave us a voicemail. You just hit the little drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner, tap the link that says leave voicemail. Today, we're going to get into the Browns' 2021 schedule, as well as a couple other notable games around the league in week one. Before we get into that, remember to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please subscribe on YouTube. If you just like listening to the show instead of watching, while you're out doing your yard work as the weather's getting better, anything like that, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, Google. Leave us a 5-star review. If you don't mind while you're there, that helps us out a lot. We're trying to up our Apple game. Our
help us get discovered by, more Browns fans out there.
Yeah. So help us out. Leave us a 5-star review. It means the world to us. I read them when I'm in bed at night and just cry. So, help us out. Well, it's good to be back here in the studio.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And we got all the dogs.
We got all the dogs for the first time in a while. And we've got producer Kyle in the studio and mic'd up.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's really good to be able to hear my voice now.
I'm going to call you PK. Is that cool?
PK? I like that.
Oh, man. Well, it's good to have everybody here. It's good to have PK in the house helping Josh out so he can be ready when his ad read comes up.
You know what happened last time? You said I had one less screen and one more bad take. So we'll see how many I can get in today.
Yeah.
I'm nervous for you, man.
But we do have some breaking news. This is an important PSA brought to you by Manscaped.com. This is your pubic service announcement and the news you've all been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in the USA and Canada. This is a pretty awesome new trimmer. You can turn on and off the light. Next level stuff right here. The new trimmer was just released, just about a week or so ago. We were one of the first ones to get our hands on it and share the news. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS at manscaped.com.
Yeah, I went with the fade last time. I think today maybe I'm going to go fade with a hard part or something. Who knows?
Hard part.
A hard
classic.
part.
Yeah.
Classic.
Do like that Fu Manchu kind of style.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you're wondering what's the difference between the 3.0 and the 4.0, it's got a more sleek design. You can turn on and off the LED light. It came with more guards, so you can go for different lengths. Like Justin said, he's rocking a nice fade. You don't got to go straight hardwoods anymore. It's waterproof. You can use it in the shower. It's basically the best thing you could do for your balls. So pick up the Lawnmower 4.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DAWGS, DAWGS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Promo code DAWGS. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
That's right. Waterproof. Did you say waterproof?
Yes, it is waterproof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That makes it nice in the shower, Quick cleanup.
Yep.
Yeah, you're just going to clog your drain up and then have to
pay a plumber to come.
Yeah. Hey, Drano, you want to sponsor us next?
Yeah.
We can.
We do those ads back to back.
Yeah.
Right.
Shave it in the shower and then Drano.
Yep.
Well, like I said in the opening, today we're going to talk about some notable week one matchups around the NFL and dive into the Browns schedule. Before we get into that, I do want to tell you guys to head to thedawgspodcast.com/schedule. Josh over here created a poll for you guys to vote on the Browns 2021 record. You'll be able to go game by game and select whether you think the Browns will win or lose. We'll make sure to put the description in the link in the description below, so it's easy for you guys to find. We're going to have it up, till closer to preseason probably. So get in there, cast your votes how you think we're going to do this year, and then we'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah, because this show's more of schedule reactions, and then we're going to do like an in-depth schedule breakdown game by game as we get a little closer. Training camp gets, going, and
roster's a little bit more finalized. We have, injuries. Knock on wood, we don't have
Oh, remember last year? That's what we talked about for like 3 straight weeks was just injuries. Yep. Oh, more injuries. Yep. Oh, more injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for any of you guys who lived under a rock this week, NFL released the schedules, and there were some pretty big matchups week one. Obviously, the first one we're going to get into is the Browns returning to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Playoff revenge game, 4:25. So not a primetime game, but, closer to primetime. Some people are saying this is a bad break for Cleveland. I love it.
Oh, as soon as I saw it, I think we had our group text, and I was like, all right, baby, let the test week 1. And we want that test.
Yeah, and I think that you'd rather play the Chiefs earlier than later.
Yeah.
Even though when you look at the stats of what Patrick Mahomes does in September is he never loses, and he doesn't throw any interceptions in the month of September. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it. We just, before we got on the air here, we were just talking that it's, 19 weeks or 8, I can't remember how many weeks it is away, that we're already ready for football to be here.
To me, I get, I think it was like Colin Cowherd put out and said this was a terrible break for the Browns to have to play the Chiefs week 1. The worst thing that can happen after this game is we're 0-1.
Right.
So, which, newsflash, we're 0-1 every year. So what's it a bad break about? I want to come out and I want to see how we match up. I want to see this new defense. I know we have, potentially 8 or 9 new starters. I don't care. They've all played football before. They're going to have a training camp. They got OTAs. If Stefanski was able to put this team together over Zoom last year, they're going to be able to put it together in person at training camp.
Well, did you guys see the photos coming out and some of the video clips from rookie mini camp? I mean, it was so nice to see like the new guys in Browns threads out there on the field. It just feels good. I was so excited for
it.
Football.
Already feels like more of a regular, normal offseason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to see how we do. In worst case scenario, even if look what happened last year, week 1. We got spanked. And then we turn around and we won 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we lose week 1, it's not an indictment on our season. Even if we win week 1, it's not, it doesn't mean we're going to go undefeated. But I want to play. I want a big matchup that first week.
No, it doesn't matter what team it is. The team for all 32 teams, whoever goes out there in week 1, it will not be the same team that goes on the field in week, what is it now, 18?
19.
Right.
Whatever. So, yeah. But you know what I mean? So you're either going to get better throughout the season or you're going to get worse, but you're not going to stay the same. We know that. So whatever happens in that first game against the Chiefs, like we're going to learn from it and we're going to get better. We win, great. We're going to get better. We lose, whatever. We're going to get better. So I'm excited to see it, the matchup.
And why not have a tough game right off the bat? Because after that, it's very kind of lackluster. Like, I don't want to say that the Browns are going to, lose attention and they're going to, snooze on the beginning of the schedule. But from when I look at it, I go, not a lot of tough opponents.
No, I think, we're going to get into the Browns schedule more, but like I said before we came on, I think before the bye, the Browns can have 10 wins realistically before the bye. And I think the over-under on us this year is only 9.5, which is crazy low to me. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me this roster is only a 9.5 win team.
Healthy? No, absolutely.
This team won 12 games last year with one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. It was basically half practice squad.
Yes. I coached 7th grade football, and I haven't seen defense that bad.
Well, we had practice squad players playing in that playoff game, last year. So I think that we'll go into week 1. Obviously, we won't be favored to win with it being in Kansas City against Mahomes and everything that
I'm okay
that comes
with that.
Like Josh said, even if you come out of here with a loss, I don't want to get blown out. I don't want to have like the Ravens happen again, even though it didn't matter and we ended up, turning things around. Mm-hmm. But man, it would stink to go in there and lose like 45-10 or something like that. No, that'd be like I think that'd be the only scenario where you might have a bad takeaway from this game.
The problem with that is then all week, especially because I don't want to say there's as much hype about the Browns as there was like 2 years ago when we first got Odell.
It's close.
But there's people are saying, we're contenders. And so if we lose big that first week, everything on the media is just going to be nothing but.
And that's what happened that year with Freddie when we got Odell. Everybody, the hype was astronomical, and then they came out and got shellacked by Tennessee, and it was like, right, what just happened here?
Yeah. So I don't want to listen to that all week, and the media is just it won't stop. It'll be all week. Is Stefanski overrated? Is Baker
the guy?
Is Baker time for him to? Is it time for Case Keenum?
Yeah, right.
Should we
right.
have traded for Aaron Rodgers? Like, I don't feel like listening to that. So
it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be interesting, kind of from the coaching aspect too, like how we talked about last year. There was no training camp. There's none of those off-season workouts that you were able to get it together with the whole team, with your coaching staff. It'll be interesting to kind of see, what Stefanski and Joe Woods get, going into this, having all that time.
I'm not gonna lie, I was watching some of those like the rookie minicamp videos. I'm very excited to see Anthony Schwartz.
He's the new toy, right? He's the new offensive weapon. He's the only one we got besides Felton.
Yeah.
So, another thing real quick, we'll come back to Schwartz, but I just want to say I did see like photos and like a video clip of James Hudson out there. That dude is huge. I mean, athletically huge. 6'5", 315-ish. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully he can play like he looks, but I will say he looks good in pads.
Yep.
I bet he does.
I don't know if you guys saw too. It was either last week or the week before, but Baker kind of organized a little get together down in Texas with him,
Yep, I saw
Chubb,
that.
Odell, Jarvis, all those guys. I think Schwartz was there. That was the first time.
Well, big thing that I've seen it with the Schwartz is that Jarvis is kind of taking him under his wing. I mean, we talk about it all the time. Greatest free agent signing in Browns history.
We traded for him.
We traded for him.
Yeah. Right, so trading. Whatever, but getting him and bringing him in, what he means to the team, it's gonna suck one day if we have to let him go.
I mean, is there anybody better to help your young receiver refine his route running skills?
Yeah.
I mean, Jarvis isn't like a burner. He's not a blow the speed off the top. He's open because he's a great route runner.
Right.
So if there's anybody to help Schwartz come along quickly, it's Jarvis Landry. And I don't know. I'm just really excited to see how we utilize his speed. I mean, Odell is awesome and all, but these end arounds of the Schwartz kid could be, I mean, nobody can catch him. If he's in the open field, it's 6. Nobody's running this guy down. There is no angle. Nobody's taking an angle to catch him. That angle doesn't exist. So I'm just really excited to see that. And I'm excited to see what the offense does in this game against the Chiefs, because last year the offense wasn't good against them.
No.
It was actually it was one of the worst games we played in
It got
a month or two.
very stale, very quick, and then it was just, we were punting, it seemed like every time. And
and part of that with the offense, ask Kansas City how many penalties they got away with in that Super Bowl
that's
game.
true.
I mean, we weren't able to get any. I mean, it was like we were getting mugged sometimes on offense. That makes your offense look worse if you
That's
can't.
true,
You
yeah, and we
can't get
did
anybody
lose that.
open, and then look what happened when Kansas City wasn't allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, they got stomped.
when they had to play by the rules, yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, it was. But I'm looking forward to. I think we had a lack of speed in that game, which allowed them to sit on us. Which allowed them to be pushing us and holding us and stuff like that. If Odell and Schwartz are both in there, that's a lot more speed on the field compared to the last time we played them. And I get that Mahomes was hurt, so that's a big factor for them too. But we didn't get their best in that game, but they didn't get anywhere near what's going to be our best this year.
Right.
I mean, the defense this year has the chance to be. I mean, this has a chance to be seriously a top 5 defense.
I don't even think it has to be a top 5 defense for us to be super competitive either.
No,
they said they wanted
top 15 last year. If we were top 15, 16 last year, we'd have been fine.
Stefanski said let us get into the top 50, the top half of defenses, and I think we're going to be scary good.
Yeah. So I mean, imagine what this team's going to be. I really think the Browns are going to be. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat.
We were last year.
Yeah.
Chiefs got some new players in town. Their line is kind of.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good, and it's a newer line. They signed some people. They traded with Baltimore to get Orlando Brown at the tackle position. I think they let Eric Fisher go. He just signed somewhere. I can't remember where it was in the news. He just signed somewhere, but they've kind of had to put. But obviously, Colts.
I think it was the Colts.
So obviously, they still have all the weapons. They got Hill. They got Kelsey. They got the rookie Edwards-Helaire. They got some more burners, but be interesting.
Well, they did take a rookie receiver, too. So Edwards-Helaire is going into his sophomore season, but who was the rookie they took? You guys remember in the draft? It was a later.
I can't remember.
That's all right. But I that's one thing I don't know if we've talked too in depth about is what sort of impact Anthony Schwartz is going to have, not just on the offense or on Baker or on, some of these underneath receivers like Jarvis. What about Odell though? Because like you said that, Blake, if you got to worry about 4.25 speed on one side of the field, you can't double Odell with Jarvis and Hooper roam in the middle. What are you going to do?
Into all these people who talk about Odell isn't good, all this stuff. He's not an impact player anymore. Watch the game and see how often he's double teamed. Tell the defensive coordinators he's not good anymore then, because he's double teamed literally every play.
And they hang on him.
Yeah. If they play him one-on-one, he draws a penalty or he gets a catch. And they almost never play him one-on-one. So don't tell me Odell's not good anymore. So we put a healthy Odell in there with the speed of Schwartz, a more confident Baker. Mm-hmm. I mean, the sky's the limit. So I'm looking for, this week 1, this has a chance to be, one of the matchups of the year right off the bat.
Yep.
So
what other big matchups in the league, though, are we looking at here the first few weeks?
So I'm just going to kind of stay in the AFC North just a touch real quick. So you got Pittsburgh taking on Buffalo.
Good matchup there.
0-1 for Pittsburgh, I'd say.
Pittsburgh, start. I would think is going to be better early in the year than they are going to be late in the year.
I said I kind of had that conversation with my wife, the Steelers fan. I said, "Your Steelers,
my wife, the Steelers fan.
The Steelers will probably, because this is just what they do. Yeah. They'll find a way to be, 4-2, 5-2, something like that to start the season. And then Big Ben's arm will be sore and you can't throw anymore. It's kind of what we saw last year.
Yeah,
their schedule is, it's tough.
Yeah, I think they have one of the top 5 hardest schedules.
The toughest.
The toughest.
It's the hardest schedule, the year.
Which to me, it's kind of hard to put stock in that because you don't know.
You're going based off a lot of what teams did last year.
Yeah, and teams are different. That being said,
look it up, bro. It's nasty. It's hard.
They added Najee and they added Freiermuth, but they still don't have an offensive line.
They didn't do anything for the line.
No, so what's Najee going to do?
Run people over.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be pretty good. But like you said, they didn't do anything in the offensive line. They lost a couple key defensive players. That was the other. Okay, so not only could Big Ben not throw the ball towards the end of the year, but Bud Dupree had gotten hurt and was done for the year.
And they weren't getting after the passer.
Devin Bush went out.
Devin Bush, so you lost. You had some of your big guys go down, and then now they're not injured. They're, elsewhere. Bud Dupree's in Tennessee now, so
I'm looking to see how that affects TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Because ask Myles Garrett what it's like not to have anybody on the other side of you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I think that's a good matchup. That's one to watch. Moving on into the AFC North, you got Minnesota at Cincinnati. Who knows? I think Minnesota was better than their record last year, so we'll see what they do this year.
I think they'll be better this year.
Their defense was banged up real bad last year.
Yeah, it was banged. And that was kind of their focus this year because everybody was like, hey, you better protect Joe Burrow. And they were like, well, we're just going to go get some shiny new weapons and help our defense. So this will be an interesting test because Minnesota's offense with Dalvin Cook and Jefferson and Thielen, they're still loaded, and Kirk Cousins still isn't a slouch at the quarterback position.
No, he gets a lot of crap, and all he does is throw for lots of yards and 70% completion percentage and no interceptions.
He's extremely efficient, accurate.
Yes,
all the things Lamar Jackson isn't.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting test. I could see this kind of being one of those. Vikings, their elite defense from the last decade is kind of going by the wayside a little bit. So I think this is probably a higher scoring type of game, especially week 1.
I'm looking to see how Burrow bounces back. Is he going to see, you tear your ACL and then thrown from the pocket becomes a little bit more of a mind game. You got people falling around your feet. You're nervous to step into throws because, you don't want anybody to fall. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you don't know how somebody's going to respond.
He took some big hits, and a couple of those Browns games where
especially
he was rolling out on like a bootleg and
Gustin murdered him.
There was times that he got hammered last year, and he'd get right back up. Maybe they had a little bit a meeting in the offseason. Hey Joe, let's not do that so much, or otherwise you'll be RG3.
He's the new Andrew Luck. Just nice hit, hit, brother.
Right.
That hurt a little bit. Good hit.
So then that moves us into the last AFC North team.
Monday night,
Baltimore plays at Las Vegas. Las Vegas gets to show off their new stadium.
And that's the only reason they're playing on Monday night. The Raiders do not
with the crowd and all that.
Exactly.
That's exactly
But the team that's going to be on the field. I mean, do you guys agree? Like the Raiders just.
I said that.
I don't see
didn't
them
think they
being
were that
very
great
good.
that last year, and then they came out and they were okay.
I think
They'll be okay in the first half. They'll collapse the second half.
I
It's
don't
just
know.
what they
I
do.
think that, I mean, John Gruden, he better turn it around. Otherwise, he's not going to see the last 5 years of his 10-year contract.
Good luck getting rid of him. You're going to pay him for 5 more years.
I mean,
$100 million.
yeah, 50 million more of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's been, for what he was supposed to be out there, and they had some quality players, and they just traded everybody away once he got there. I mean, Khalil Mack, we're still talking about him, and they got rid of him, 3 years ago?
Oh, at least, yeah.
You know, I think the Ravens go into this game. I really don't think it's going to be close. I think they're going to go there and.
No, and the Baltimore will probably kill them. Then we'll have to hear all week about how awesome they are. Even though they played some week.
Lamar will pass for 110 yards.
Yeah, 16 yards. Yep.
Yeah, but he'll rush for 280. But he'll throw 3 touchdowns, so we'll have to hear about how great of a thrower he is.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
Yeah, even though he was like 9 of 23 or something.
Yeah, they get the easiest week 1 matchup by far, Baltimore. And we're gonna have to hear all week about how awesome they are. It's not a surprise if you guys win this game.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
There's some other interesting games, though, around the league that I know I'm kind of looking forward to. One, obviously, the opener to the NFL season. You have the Cowboys at the Buccaneers. Dak Prescott, just saw in the news, they're thinking he's going to be back ready to go and camp and stuff, being able to throw the ball. So, you're going to get Dak in his return with, see if they can do anything on defense to stop against Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champs.
And I don't think they did enough. I don't think they did enough to their defense.
They needed to just scrap it.
Yeah.
Take out that playbook, throw it away, and start from scratch. That one's going to be interesting, though. And I think it's fitting to be the first game of the year in that matchup.
Yep.
One I was kind of checking out, and it's 2 teams that are probably going to suck, but Jacksonville at Houston. Is Deshaun going to play? What's Trevor Lawrence going to be like the beginning of the Urban Meyer area? Obviously, we're Ohio State fans, most of us.
Tim Tebow.
I do want. What do you guys think of this? All these players coming out crying that he's getting a shot. He's taking a roster spot from somebody who's been working their whole life for this. One, rosters are at 90, 100 players right now. So you're not taking a roster spot from anybody.
You can sign as many people as you want right now.
Yeah.
Right.
2, if that player can then not beat out Tim Tebow to make the 53-man roster, then he should be the one rethinking his career
Exactly.
choice.
Right. Well, and the thing I look and how I look, and you got all these people, whether they're in the NFL or it's some analyst or it's just Joe Schmo that you see, at work or something. Like Tim Tebow went to a guy who he's close with and said, "Hey, you want to try to give me a job?" type of thing. You do that to anybody. You're like one of your buddies, like, "Oh, hey, just lost my job. Hey, you got something for me that I could apply for?"
I commented that on something on Facebook. I said, "Guys, this is literally how you get a job in America." Yeah. almost every single job, it's who you know.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
almost every job I've ever had is because I knew somebody who worked at the company that at least got me in the door for the interview.
Yeah, and it's not, the preferential treatment thing is such a joke because it's not like they brought him in as a quarterback where we all know he doesn't have a shot. He changed his position to be a tight end where, he has at least a chance to play some sort of, Taysom Roll Hill or something.
Some type of package here or there.
And it's not
I don't see him being an every down tight end.
No,
I don't
no.
see that.
And it's not like he's demanding some 6-year, $30 million deal.
Right.
He's probably making pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, he just wants to play.
And I don't think Colin Kaepernick's really out there looking for a job either. I don't think he's actively. I don't know that.
Well, the thing is, we all watched Tim Tebow play quarterback, so he came back as a tight end. Good for you, Tim. You watched the tape too,
right?
Colin, we all watched you play quarterback as well.
At the beginning, bro, he was a bad man. At the beginning,
he was a one-trick pony, though, and once they figured him out.
Man, the trick was he could throw good and run good. So I don't know what happened at the end, but man, those first few years he was good.
The problem was nobody
good.
in the NFL had ever seen a read option before.
Yeah.
Turns out they've seen that now.
Yeah.
So
I got one more game too, buddy.
Go ahead. I had 1 or 2 more I was kind of eyeing up.
I got one that I think is very intriguing. Seattle going to Indianapolis.
Very good game. Two
two playoff
teams.
potential teams.
Yeah.
Curious to see how Carson Wentz
era.
plays. One I was kind of looking at was Miami at New England.
Division game. Yeah.
How's Tua come back? He's got Jalen Waddle now, and I'm interested to see what New England's going to be like this year. They spent $500 million in free agency.
Guys, what's New England going to be like? I know you guys are both inside, on New England.
I think that New England, when the schedule came out, it might have been Colin. I was listening to his show on the radio, and the schedule breakdown, I don't have all the numbers, but the number of rookie QBs that New England gets to play, and the number of first-time head coaches New England gets to play.
It's like 12 or 13.
Yeah, it's. If he loses 2 of them, they win 10 games, It's crazy the schedule that they have. It's very friendly for them. Interested to see how the year plays out for them. How long is Cam Newton is he starting week 1? Then you're going to Mac Jones in the middle of the year. Where are you going to see that at?
And that's
Does Mac
interesting
Jones beat him at camp?
They said that a lot of times when they make that switch, right, to a rookie quarter, they did that in Miami last year. They wait till the bye week and then say, hey, we're switching, Fitzpatrick's done. We're going to bring in Tua. After the bye week because they have time to kind of implement and kind of switch things up to the skill set.
Right.
New England's bye isn't until week 14, I think.
Yeah, it's late.
So they said if they make it that late and they're in any sort of contention, they're not making any sort of switch because then you only have a couple games after the fact.
Here's the thing. I think there's going to be a lot more talent around Cam this year, but also the defensive side of the ball for them is going to be a million times better.
Way better.
He's not going to with the defense. They had a bunch of players sit out last year. They've brought, like Blake said, they brought new guys in. They brought an offensive weapons in.
They got more tight ends on my fantasy team.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, does Cam have to somehow find a way to maybe get 17 points on the board, and that's good enough to win with their defense?
How many passing touchdowns did he have last
I think
year?
he had 8.
Yeah, I was going to say
I think it was
6.
8,
so
and he had...
it was low.
Was it 8, and then he also had 10 or 12. I can't remember. I know he had more interceptions and he did not have double-digit touchdowns, but he started 15 games.
Which is insane. In today's
How can
NFL,
you be a starting quarterback and throw single-digit touchdowns?
Yes, that's so. They're a very interesting team for me to watch this year to kind of see how they play
Miami
out.
And who they're playing. Miami, really good defense. Is Tua the guy? We got to wait and see there. That'll be interesting. Another game on this before we move on here that I liked was the Jets taking on the Panthers and Sam Darnold.
That's a great narrative game.
It's the going against your old team week 1 at your new house. They got to come and rookie quarterback. The new face of the franchise, Wilson, right?
Yep.
Has to come to Carolina to play
the previous face of the franchise.
Yeah.
From 3 years ago.
It'll be in that game. It'll just be an interesting, thing to watch.
Well, so the one here that catches my eye, and it depends on how camp shakes out, is that Sunday night game, Chicago Bears versus the Rams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You think Fields
starting?
Matt Stafford in L.A.
I think they're going to be really good, and LA's going to be really, really good.
I think the Rams it's Rams and Bucks in the NFC right now, kind of for me.
Yeah,
really.
You're not going to talk about the Niners?
Yeah, I think the Niners. You got to talk about them a lot.
Really?
To me, the Niners are clearly the favorite if they're healthy. It's not even close.
Who's their quarterback?
The favorite for me, 100%.
They went to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo 2 years ago. Coasted to the Super Bowl.
The favorite in the NFC. If you're not saying Tampa Bay, who returned absolutely everybody's not the. They're my favorite, clear cut.
They didn't play defense. This Niners defense is otherworldly if they're healthy.
I'm still taking.
They were
not with their new defensive coordinator. Remember, Robert Saleh's not there.
They were by far the best defense in the league. They were like a historically good defense 2 years ago.
Well, LA Rams were the best defense last year.
See, the thing though with those,
and they were nothing.
Think about
to
the Patriots historically great defense a couple years ago. It's really hard to keep that level up year to year. So I think, I'm not saying the 49ers are going to be terrible on defense if they're healthy by any means, but
I think you're
as a whole team though, I really like what the Rams have put together.
That front seven of the Niners, it's literally all first round draft picks, like top 10 draft picks.
I'm with you, Josh. I'm going Tampa Bay.
No, it's all if they're healthy. If they're healthy, to me, it's like the Niners.
Yeah,
I think you can make the argument too that LA doesn't even make the playoffs because that division is stacked. I mean, you have 49ers, you have Seattle. I mean, obviously, we could see it.
I'm not as high on Seattle.
And that's fair.
Just because of that.
I agree.
The offensive line woes.
I get it, yeah.
They always seem to have their hot spots.
But
everyone's like, oh, they look great.
Games.
They do.
Yeah.
But
They
as far
lost.
as...
I'm pretty sure Chris Carson's no longer there.
No, he's there.
Is he there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought that he was.
But the Bears-Rams game for me was... obviously, it's the Justin Fields effect, but I do want to see how Stafford looks. He's been in Detroit forever.
Yep.
And now to see him on like a team that actually knows how to play football.
We talked about it on the way over here.
Yeah.
We said, man, we thought, even with Detroit, we're like, man, super iffy franchise, rough, done.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Detroit's like that team that like they always just kind of look lost. Like Cleveland made that video.
They were the only team that like
at least we're not Detroit.
Yeah.
Like forever. Right. So I think it's crazy because his career has been very good to this point. I mean, not any like obviously no trophies, nothing like that, but like he's been good, and he goes to a very good team.
Good coach, good run game.
I don't think Fields is there. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be Andy's team for at least a little bit,
and that's going to be a training camp thing because if Fields comes in and he's ready to go and he shows that he's picking it up quick enough, how do you play Andy Dalton?
Well, he looked bad. Andy Dalton did not look good.
No, he didn't at all.
And he had all the weapons in the world that you could want to look good.
More weapons than he'll have.
I mean, that undrafted dude looked good.
Yeah, I think
DiNucci.
I think with that, that those are the two best divisions that we just kind of talked about. You got the Browns and the AFC.
Yep.
With 3 playoff teams, and then you're looking at in the NFC with Seattle, and I mean, I know you guys aren't big on Arizona, but Arizona's still no slouch. LA,
I agree.
And San Fran. I mean, that's just 2 really good divisions.
I think you can say the same thing about the AFC North. We say, Cincy's kind of. I don't think Cincy's not below. I think they're going to be.
They're getting there.
They're on the up.
Yeah,
they're on the up.
So last game I wanted to touch on, at least for me, I'm kind of interested in this Green Bay at the Saints game. Is Rodgers going to play? How do the Saints look without Drew Brees?
Yeah, who's the quarterback?
Yeah, who's the quarterback? Is it Jameis?
I think Aaron Rodgers is playing against the Giants in Week 1 for the Broncos, but
man, what a story that would be.
I think that takes Denver to like.
Oh, then all of a sudden they're in the conversation for sure. But I'm with you. The Green Bay game against New Orleans. But I mean, if Rodgers is there,
yeah, if Rodgers is there, does he come out and he just like start throwing the ball to the other team? F you, like just huck and chuck at football, And I'm curious, does Jameis come out and does he light it up, or does he throw 4 touchdowns and 5 picks?
Or does he throw 4 touchdowns and they're all for the other team? Like they're all pick sixes back.
So
now the one thing I will defend with Jameis was his 30 interception season was his first year with Bruce Arians. Mm-hmm. And Bruce Arians that's kind of been his track record. The first year he gets a quarterback, the interceptions are high. Brady had a higher interception rate last year than normal.
Until he's like, Bruce, we're going to start doing it my way.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, it was the Tom Brady offense midway through to the end of the year when they turned it on. Because remember, they were through 5 weeks, they were like 3-2.
Yep.
They were 3, and everybody was like,
we weren't even that high
this isn't going to work out. And then,
it worked out.
And he's like, hey, Brucey, listen here. I've been doing this for 20 years.
I've been doing this longer than you.
Right. Yes.
More consistently.
Yeah. Let me do my own thing. We'll be throwing Lombardi
You may have heard of
from
me.
both
I've been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. We're going to start doing some play action pass. Don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
That's where I fake it to the running back. Then I throw a touchdown. Just watch.
Yeah. See that guy number 87? We're going to get him more involved. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, but no, that's some of the games. Any other games you guys kind of got your eye on? I think we kind of hit the highlights.
The big ones.
No, I don't know what week it is. I know kind of looking further into the season. It might be week 4 that Tampa Bay goes to New England, so it's the homecoming of Tom Brady.
Okay,
that'll be a big game.
That's probably gonna be a hard game for you to watch because you're gonna be wearing your Tampa Bay Tom jersey, but then under that you'll probably have like your Patriots hoodie on or something.
I'll just have to do like a split Tom jersey.
Right. I saw Tom. They asked him about it, and he said it's kind of like your college friends meeting your high school friends in that game. What that's going to be like. So that'll definitely be one that'll be interesting to watch.
All right, so that kind of wraps up, some of the week 1 highlights around the league. Before we move into the Browns, kind of schedule as a whole, as we look over this, I think, Josh had something he wanted to say.
Yeah, our little schedule reaction here is brought to you guys by the Northwest Group. They're the leader in branded home textiles. They carry items from your favorite sport teams, movies, shows, and more. Head over to thenorthwest.com. Check them out. You guys, use the code DAWGS, DAWGS. You get 25% off plus free shipping. Get your Browns gear. They've got college football gear on there too. They've got, like Justin always says, Moana. They got all your Baby Yoda needs out there. And Harry Potter stuff. Like it's a cool place if you're into sports and nerding out.
Yep. Which is two things I do a lot.
Yeah, quite often. Yeah. So go to thenorthwest.com, code DAWGS, DAWGS, 25% off, free shipping.
25% off is a pretty sweet deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and the free shipping's huge too for me, for everything.
And their prices are really good.
They are.
Even without the percentage off for some of their stuff. And the quality of the stuff is great.
This Baker blanket hanging up behind you is pretty dope.
Yeah, so there's the Baker blanket. We had that cloud pillow we were giving away, which, congratulations to the winners again from last week. I just contacted everybody this week. I'm getting shipping addresses, so those are being sent out. We'll talk to Northwest, see if maybe we can do ongoing contests. Maybe we can start one up here for the schedule submissions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So, all right.
Let me check my schedule.
Gotta wait for the drop.
Yeah, I almost forgot. I didn't have my
almost forgot.
You did forget.
All right, so we'll kind of
You didn't have your show doc pulled up.
I'm looking.
You gave us total crap before we started for that.
I put a lot of time and effort into that at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I was going to say, when did you send that over?
I do a lot of time and effort not reading that.
So, we're going to kind of move into a little bit of the Browns overview here. We're not going to get, we're not going to break it down game by game and stuff like that. I'm just kind of some of the highlights. Obviously, we already talked about Kansas City at week 1. Chicago week 3. Are we going to be playing against Justin Fields?
No.
Yes. There's no way we're playing against Andy Dalton.
I think Andy Dalton sits it for, I think he's the starting quarterback for at least the first half until things get really, really bad. And then they're like, okay.
I don't think you don't trade up to take that quarterback to not play him.
I think that I can see what Justin's saying, but I think that it's got to be Justin Fields.
Matt Nagy's trying to save his job.
Nagy's
exactly.
His job.
You think he's starting it like?
I don't know if he'll start week 1. I really don't know if he'll be week 1. Maybe not.
If he's starting week 3.
By week 3, he's in.
I think
that's an interesting game.
If he comes out in camp and is competent at all, he's starting.
Oh, he's competent. He'll be competent.
Then he's starting. Because Matt Nagy and that GM, they're trying to save their jobs.
Yep.
Andy Dalton's not
I'll tell you what, if he's starting against us, it'll be a fun game to see because he's gonna, he'll be kind of like Lamar, only he can run and throw. So kind of give us a little taste of how we're doing with our new defense out there. JOK and John Johnson, and see how these guys are going to react to a mobile quarterback. Because I don't think we're playing Deshaun Watson in week 2.
I don't either.
No, I think we're seeing Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
I agree. Oh yeah.
Hashtag revenge game.
Yeah. Well, as long as one of the trainers, they don't get to him before the game.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Hashtag medical mishaps.
Yeah. How long until Tyrod gets replaced by some rookie in Houston?
Well, they drafted her. They drafted her.
What was his name? Mills or
Davis Mills?
Yeah.
They did draft a rookie quarterback. Deshaun Watson. Not only did he want out, then you got all this other stuff that's going on. He is probably going to be hearing from the league office at some point.
Sure.
We'll see. So, I came on before we came on. I was talking to you guys, and I said I could realistically see us being 10-2 at the bye. And that's chalking up losses week 1 and loss to the Ravens week 1. Or not week 1,
12.
but week 12. So that's worst case scenario for me because, I think we'll beat Baltimore.
I think there's some danger games in there. I think the Chargers could surprise some people.
No, I don't.
That was the one I was looking at here.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I'm not guaranteeing a win. I'm just saying if I'm picking,
Now,
I think the Browns are better than those teams. At least right now on paper.
Week 7. Obviously speculation, hypothetical. Could be against Aaron Rodgers. Could be against Drew Lock. Could be against Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Could be against somebody else that we don't even know about yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. That makes that Christmas game down the road a little different too. If he's not with Green Bay, then.
Now, what's cool is we don't even have to think about Pittsburgh till week 8, and by then they should be on the decline. Big Ben should be like, oh man,
Mason
this
Rudolph
elbow
should be
sucks.
probably
Rubber
in
band
there.
arm.
Yeah, if what's awesome, kind of, I think, for the Browns this year is you don't have to worry about playing some of your divisional foes early. You know, because then you're trying to figure out how you can make those games up later on. You're like, well, we've already played Cincinnati once. We've played Baltimore and Steelers all before week 8. And now you're in the division. And say you had a rocky start to the season. Here, you know, you get your feet wet before your first divisional game is until week 8. And then I know we finished 4 of our last 6 are all in the division as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so it's backloaded.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think you got to take care of business early. 10-2. I know that would be awesome to be sitting at that, you know. 9-3, I wouldn't be upset with.
No,
I was just, even if we're 8-4 at the bye, then after the bye, you got Baltimore again, Las Vegas, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I think you can. I don't want to again. We don't guarantee wins, but Vegas, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati is, you know, I would be picking us to win.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we're 8-4 at the bye, now we're sitting at what 11-6.
I got to take for
everybody's doing the mental math real quick. Like,
yeah, I think. And like we said, when we do the schedule breakdown, Blake will probably have us at 17-0 or something.
No. Hey, I just want to say, I think you and I correctly picked our record last year.
We did.
So people give us a lot of crap. We picked the record. We picked it right. Josh was so far off.
Here's a take. I got an interesting.
I'm glad I was, but
kind of an interesting take here. First through week 6. Through week 6. Is Joe Woods our defensive coordinator after week 6 if the Browns find a way come out at maybe 3-3? Is he gone? Is he done?
I don't think this
think of some of the offenses that he has to go up against. Obviously Kansas City week 1. Mm-hmm. Minnesota, Los Angeles, Arizona Cardinals 3 weeks in a row.
I think that this defense was built so specifically for the defense that he wants to run.
Yes.
That I don't think he would get fired.
And to me, this coaching staff and this front office, they don't make knee-jerk reactions.
I just think that, it'd be, if we're through 6 weeks and we haven't seen, through then you should, you're wanting to see improvements week 1. You're wanting to see.
You're going to see an improvement from this defense week 1 just based on personnel alone.
I just think that's going to be a big test for his defense is some of those teams that he's got to go.
We're more talented at almost every single position. I think we could have no defensive coordinator and our defense would be better than last year.
And the thing is to remember, 2 key additions to this defense were the rookies. So you got Greg Newsome and you got JOK. And those 2 guys will be first-time rookies week 1, but by the end of the season, you know how you got to bring your rookies along throughout that year. Who knows what level these guys will be playing at by the end of the season?
And not to mention, and then Delpit and Greedy, they're not rookies, but Greedy's got a season.
Not a lot of experience.
Delpit kind of is a rookie.
And Delpit kind of is a rookie.
Yeah.
But again, just based on personnel alone, this defense is going to be better.
Oh yeah, just with John Johnson and Troy Hill in there, and then you of course Clowney.
Yep.
And Tack McKinley's no slouch. Malik Jackson.
I think I just when I looked at the schedule and I saw the breakdown of some of the teams that we had to go up against, not saying that we can't beat all these teams. I just don't want to see our offense have to outscore teams in week 4, 5, and 6.
No, and that's the thing with the NFL. Any given Sunday, you're playing against pros, so it doesn't. The Houston Texans, I don't know. We could come out there and all of a sudden struggle at the beginning of that game against a far inferior team, but it's just the way the NFL works. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yep.
But it's always a possibility. But I just don't know the offensive firepower. I see what you're saying is that you got the Chiefs, the Cardinals. They run fast and they score a lot. The Chargers with
depends
Herbert.
on the week.
Okay,
the
true.
Cardinals are one of those.
You just hate the Cardinals because they burned you last year.
It's true though.
They are still loaded.
Him and I were talking about this on the way though. How many times did Kyler have like some crazy 350-yard passing game this week, and then the next week he was 8 of 32 for 97 yards and 2 interceptions?
I feel like it wasn't that often.
It felt like it was all the time.
It was about every other week.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not that scared. Until they prove me wrong, I'm not that scared of Arizona. Minnesota, I kind of defend Kirk Cousins a lot, but we're not letting Kirk Cousins beat us.
Well, the thing with Minnesota is how improved is our run game?
I think
Or run defense, I mean, because their run game on offense is
one of the best.
good.
Yeah,
I
it's very
think
good.
just the addition of what's his face at middle linebacker,
Walker.
Anthony Walker, and then the maturation of Phillips, JOK,
Clowney.
and Clowney. Right, again, zero scheme. We don't even coach these guys. We just say go out there and play defense. Go see ball, hit ball.
Yeah.
Our defense is going to be better than it was last year.
Yeah.
It's not. It's impossible for it to be worse.
It is, and looking like later, second portion of the schedule, there's some teams that offensively don't really score a lot of points, at least based on like last year. And like Denver didn't score hardly any points last year. Most games. New England, we talked about Cam. You're not going to have to worry about him throwing any touchdowns. Detroit, yeah. I mean,
they might be rough.
They're gonna be rough. I mean, the Raiders, sometimes they come out and it's like, wow, they look great, but other times it's like they suck.
We play them late, which means they're going to suck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then in Green Bay again, who knows who their quarterback's going to be?
Yeah.
Obviously, just kind of like a brief AFC North prediction for me. I think we sweep the Steelers. I think we sweep the Bengals, and I think we split with the Ravens.
Let me throw a crazy prediction out here too, or not even a prediction, but a fun forecast for the last week of the season. So the AFC North is going to be, I don't know, bro. I don't think it's going to be that smooth where we're just sweeping divisional rival teams.
You think Pittsburgh beats us?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it was a 1-for-1, but hear me out here. Hear me out here, bro. So week 18. We're playing Cincinnati at home. Baltimore is playing Pittsburgh at home. AFC North
could be decided.
It could be any one of those teams could win that division. And I know you guys are gonna be like, oh, Cincinnati, blah blah blah. I'm serious. I don't think Mike Tomlin is good enough of a coach to make that team competitive, or at least average where they're there. I don't see us being like we're getting to the end and we're like a 16 and what? One team, or a 17-1 team, or a 16-1 team, where it's like
we're easily see us finishing 13-4. That's what Bleacher Report picked us at. That's not just me being crazy. Bleacher Report's nonpartisan,
crazy,
non-biased. We won 12 games last year with historically the worst defense of all time.
Yes, and so,
but with a really easy schedule too.
Our schedule's not hard this year.
This is the part of the schedule.
So we have the 9th hardest schedule this year.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got our bye week right in between our back-to-back Baltimore games, which means the Browns get to go into basically a 2-game series against Baltimore with no one else to think about at all. It's only Baltimore. We prep for Baltimore. We think about Baltimore. It's the only focus we have. They've got to worry about Pittsburgh in between those 2 games. We get to come off of the Detroit Lions, who blow, to face the Ravens, which is great.
Right.
And then we get a bye week, face the Ravens again, and after that, all we have to worry about is the Raiders.
I just don't think it's as cut and dry as you guys think it is. I'm saying that we were in some shootouts with Cincinnati last year, and all they did was get way better.
All we did was get way better.
I know. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it's going to be cut and dry and easy, but I'm saying the situation is good.
We don't even know if their quarterback is going to be good.
I think he'll be fine.
Is he going to be good for week 1? Is that known? Like, is he going to be?
I mean, his knee was destroyed. We don't know how he's going to deal with that.
I saw in the Jersey promo, he was the only one standing up. They had the rookie sitting down next to him, and he was just standing next to him. I'm like, oh, God.
And here's my chair. Cincinnati is definitely improved, but they're not as good as us. Not even on paper. The only place they're even close to us is good on paper is at the receiving core.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Pittsburgh, I'm not worried about really at all.
I think so last year me and Blake we picked the Browns to the most wins. This year I'm a little hesitant I feel like we had a really great year last year, and I do think that we are a better team. I also think that teams are going to be better prepared to play against Stefanski and his offense the second year around. And remember, we're not going to have Odell those first, however many weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks. I mean, I don't know if we know what it is. I know he's running and he's doing routes, but I don't know when he's going to be back. I think that even though our schedule looks favorable to us, there's going to be more hiccups along the road than what we think.
So you think we win less games than we did last year?
We won 11 last year.
We won 11.
You think we're going to win less games with?
I don't know. I don't think we're going to.
Yeah, there's even an extra game.
I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to win less games, but I could see us winning 11 games.
Okay,
Sure.
I could see us being. I could
So
see
it'd be
us,
11-6.
Yeah, I could see us being 11-6.
pick 6 teams to beat us on this schedule.
I think the Chargers could easily beat us in the first 5 games.
We
Their
don't
offense is legit. They
we don't
get
even
Derwin
know.
James
We don't
back.
even
They
know
still
what
have
they're going to
Bosa.
be.
They had a great draft.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best drafts of any team.
Their
They got
coach could be
Asante
Freddie
Samuel.
Kitchens for all we know.
That's true. They are coming into a completely new coaching staff.
So it's
regime,
their
everything.
quarterback was great last year, and it's going to be a completely new offensive system.
Hey, Baker was really good as a rookie too.
Yeah.
And then we switched to a different head coach.
You just said
We
pick
make that,
6 teams
yeah.
that could beat you. That's one team that could beat the Browns.
Any team could beat us, but I'm saying pick 6 teams that you realistically think are going to beat us.
I think the Steelers could beat us once.
I didn't say could. Any team could beat us. Pick the 6 teams you are saying are going to beat us.
I'm not doing my schedule breakdown. You have to tune into a different episode for that.
Yeah.
But to just say that knee-jerk reaction, I'm not going to sit here and say, the Browns are going to win 13, 14 games. Now, can they? Yeah, obviously. That's what you're saying they
Hey,
can do.
Kyle, do the Browns win more games, the same amount of games, or less games this year than last year?
Well, I'd always want to err on the side of caution and not be too confident, but not be too
It's okay to be cocky, though.
It sounds like he's sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I'm going to go that middle political route and say I think we'll do as good, if not better, than last year.
Okay, so he's kind of sitting with you, Zach, on the 11 games.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trust me, I'm with you, man. I think that we could have a good run. I don't think it's as cut.
It's just crazy to me that you, of all people, are going to be somewhat down on us.
Hey,
after I've listened to you talk good about the Browns when
I'm
we've
not
been
talking.
abysmal.
I'm just saying. I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. I'm not going to just say, hey, we're going to go out and beat the hell out of everybody that we play just because. On paper,
I mean, that's what the good teams do, though. Do you think the Rams are sitting there going, well, I mean, I don't want to get cocky because teams could beat us. No, they're going, we're going to stomp everybody. That's what we're going to do because we are bringing back the last 11 games last year. We were a top 4 offense, and we're going to bring in a top 10 defense this year.
Right. So do we all agree the Browns are a playoff team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at that point,
I think,
don't know if
3 teams are. I think Pittsburgh might be on the fence. But
yeah.
I think it's close to being 3 teams in our division.
Yeah.
So I know we want to talk about how many games they're going to win. At the end of the year, I don't care the number of wins as long as they make the playoffs because only one team's getting the bye. You know what I mean?
And that's probably Kansas City.
Well, it could be Buffalo.
Right.
It could be the Browns. It could be anybody, but only one team gets it. So really, it's just don't even worry about the bye week. Just focus on getting into the playoffs.
yeah.
The bye
'Cause you
week
gotta
means
beat who you gotta
less.
beat. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think the Browns are a playoff team. I think the Browns are a Super Bowl team.
Okay.
oh boy.
I don't want to say.
No, I'm with you. I was just like,
I don't
good
want to
thing you
say it's
didn't-
Super Bowl or bust this year, but I think we're legit Super Bowl contenders / favorites.
The thing I really want to see is how Stefanski progresses into year 2 of his offensive system and running the team because we saw it with Sean McVay. He came out as a rookie head coach, was like, oh, this guy's the greatest offensive mind ever. And then the next year, it's like, oh, he's amazing. They were in the Super Bowl. And then
Matt Nagy.
yeah, and then
Perfect,
teams
another guy.
catch up to what you're doing. And if you're not quick enough to adjust, like it took McVay a year and a half to really adjust and get back on track to doing what he was doing. So,
well, this is only going to be Stefanski's second year,
Right,
so it's
right.
Super Bowl.
so okay.
Well, that's what McVay did, right?
As long as we don't go to the Super Bowl and score, 3 points?
3 points.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
and he's got Schwartz to play with this year. He's hopefully going to have an Odell healthy all year to play with. He's got more weapons. He's got Baker who knows the system now. He didn't have to teach it to him over Google Meets.
Yeah. Well, I think Harrison Bryant, too. I think he could be an underrated, candidate to really step it up this year in year 2.
Absolutely.
Because he played really well last year as a rookie. He just has some fumbling and some drop problems those are just mental errors, and he was a rookie. So I think he did pretty well for a rookie tight end.
Yep, I agree. Still got Hooper.
Still got David for now.
For now. He's probably, if we're not getting big things out of him, probably some type of a trade piece at the deadline, most likely.
Which hurts me to say because he actually tweets me back. Thanks, David.
So, that's probably, it's it's going to be interesting. We got a lot of pieces on defense that, on paper, we should be really good.
Oh, I'm just so excited that we're not looking at this schedule going, man, how many games can Cody Kessler kind of win us this year?
Yeah, how many games can we score points in?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that we brought in kind of a different news. You know, we kind of know about some of the positions, obviously, that we're filling. Kicker kind of still up.
I saw
up for grabs. We brought somebody else in. Barry, if you're listening, your boy Matt McCrane got the kick to the curb. We released him, got rid of him. So we'll have to see if it's who's going to be our kicker in week 1.
We need to figure that out.
It's a big thing. You know, some people will be like, it doesn't matter who you have kicking.
No, it does.
It does. I mean,
ask New England.
You know, Kansas City's got a pretty good guy down there. You know,
ask Baltimore.
It matters.
I mean, that Ravens
Justin Tucker saves a lot of ball, you know.
That Ravens game, we played him second game last year. Did anybody have any doubt when they came out to kick like the 50-yarder that he was going to make it?
No.
I knew as soon as he was walking out, the Browns were going to lose.
Right.
You know, so we don't have that. We wouldn't even attempt a 50-yard field goal.
No, we had to put our punter out there.
So you have so much, and like having that aspect, having a Justin Tucker, a Harrison Butker, a Lutz, you know, all those guys, when you're sitting like on fringe field goal position and it's like 3rd and 11, you can try to get the 11 yards, you know, with your quarterback. You can try to pick up the first down rather than the Browns are like, well, I hope we at least get 5 or 6 yards here so we can at least attempt a kick.
No,
otherwise we're punting. Or we can go
manageable.
4th and manageable. Right. You know, so it is a luxury to have somebody.
Yeah, we got to solidify that. Your Sooner boy really let us down.
He was good the first year. The first year I was happy with him his rookie season. Then after that,
he really pooped the bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I guess we'll kind of, look at this. Any other games that are kind of popping off the schedule for you guys? Things got a little bit heated there. We need to calm it down.
I mean, the back-to-back Ravens, I think, I don't know if anybody mentioned it. I think Josh looked up the stat. It's like first time in how long? Like
30 years.
30 years since somebody's been able to play back-to-back games against the same team.
I'm a little curious. I almost don't like it, though. So it could play in our favor, like you talked about.
And it could be bad.
Or what if we have a slew of injuries?
Yeah, and then now you just lost 2 divisional games in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I don't know.
13 wins is looking questionable.
Why couldn't those 2 games been, if we're going to play anybody back to back, Pittsburgh or the Bengals? Why do we have to play the toughest division rival the back to back weeks?
That's good. It's good for TV, man.
I'm not scared.
I think Sunday night, 1 game.
Yep. Monday, the other ones, 1:00.
I do want to kind of touch. I saw some people were kind of moaning a little bit that the Browns didn't have more primetime games this year. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Well, and a lot of you got to remember to wait until the end of the season because a lot of those games are flex schedule. So if depends on who the Browns are playing and how the Browns are doing. If they're one of the more popular teams people want to see, they'll flex into like a Saturday night, or they'll flex into the Sunday night spot out of the 1:00 and move somebody down.
Yeah.
Like
we played Pittsburgh Monday night late in the year. That Las Vegas game's to be determined, so that could get flexed.
Yeah.
We play the Ravens. Was that Thursday night? 8:20.
I mean,
no, that's Sunday night. So we got 3. Here's my thing. 1, I hate when the Browns don't play on Sunday because
it messes up our schedule.
Yeah, and it just
it's going to be weird them playing on Saturday.
I just don't
Christmas Day game.
Yeah, and it just I like waking up at 1:00 and watching the Browns on Sundays. So when they don't play, it's like my Sunday's just kind of a wash.
We got some 4. We got a couple 4:00 games this year.
And then 2. I mean, obviously, I'm hyped up on the Browns this year, but I don't mind if they run under the radar for everybody else. Last time we got all hyped up in the media and had 5 primetime games, we were awful. So let's just let us play on Sundays at 1:00 and let us go about our business and let's go, win the Super Bowl quietly. And then we can celebrate.
Yeah, we'll make the noise. Don't worry about that.
Then we'll be flipping and burning cars in Cleveland together. Can't wait. Can't wait.
I'll be throwing my back out, but I'll be flipping that car.
I'm down. I'm gonna need a lot of your. I'm gonna need you for it, bro.
But all right. Well, So if there's no other games that we want to talk about, we might as well wrap this thing up. I got to go sell a house. So we want to thank you guys for checking out another episode of The Dawgs. Remember to head to thedawgspodcast.com/schedule to cast your predictions for the Browns 2021 record. A big shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring today's episode. Remember to use promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, for 20% off and free shipping. Pick up your lawnmower 4.0. Remember to tap that subscribe button on YouTube and tune in next week when we have Barry Shuck on to talk some more about the Browns draft and some of the players we did and did not pick. We'll see you guys all next week. Have a good week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast and become an official Dog Pack member and join thedawgs.com.